This comment, yes, I must deal with it. And sorry I didn't get back to you sooner. Doing a lot of different things. I'm not going to look at all of these, but first of all, Ramapithecus. I remember back somewhere decades ago in my mind that Ramapithecus was just an ape. Nothing more. So I thought quickly I would look it up. I Googled Ramapithecus. This is what I got. It's the first thing that came up. It's just an ape. Looking at Australopithecus, or what the first one was, Lucy. Here, I'll give you a little video on Australopithecus. Up front, I'll just say that evolutionary paleontologists do not agree on Lucy, and the general consensus is that Lucy is just another ape, an extinct ape, that the human-like features were made up because somebody wanted to make a career out of finding something remarkable, but they actually didn't.
And one of the number one fossils that comes up as an example of a transitional form is Lucy. But here are the claims originally made about Lucy. It has a lumbar curve, S-shaped curve on the spine of this creature, and human-like pelvis, so that its knees pointed forward like a human. And yet it had ape arms, an ape skull, ape neck, but human lower half. That's sort of the claims. Human-like knee, human-like foot. And you could see as a human walks, when we take a right foot, a right step forward, for example, well, our left shoulder comes forward. And so when humans walk, our spine swivels and twists each time we take a step. Comparing chimpanzees with humans, when they take a right step forward, their right shoulder, not their left shoulder, their right shoulder comes forward because their spines are in a C shape, or a gentle curve, just a single arc-shaped curve, and it's solid and stiff so that they have a strong support for swinging in trees. So that's some of the differences. And you can see chimps and apes have hands for feet, and they use those hands for grasping tree branches. Well, the first thing we see is that the claims made about the lower back, these lumbar vertebrae, are not justified because there's no vertebrae there. Well, the knee joint, the upper tibia section that they found, and associated with these skeletal elements, found 200 feet deeper and thousands of feet away. So it probably doesn't even belong with this skeleton. It may even be actually a human knee. Some person died out there too, in the wild. And maybe that's why it looks so human. What about the pelvis? Well, it was fragments that were adjusted, and so we don't have confidence that the reconstruction was necessarily anatomically trustworthy. But it did have a big toe that was shaped like a thumb. Lucy had hands for feet, and more discoveries of Australopithecus afarensis, the Lucy's kind, since the original was popularized as a human ancestor, confirm for us that this thing had hands for feet. It even had ape-like skull features, very ape-like. For example, the back of the head in apes, that's where the spine connects with the skull, the back of the head. But in humans, our spine connects at the bottom of the head. So Lucy had which one? Lucy had back of the head, just like modern apes, so that it could knuckle walk. And Lucy had the locking wrist so that it was a knuckle walker, just like modern apes. So you don't have to take my word for it. Take the word of Stern and Sussman, publishing in 1983, saying Lucy's kind would have walked bent hip, that means not standing upright like humans, bent knee, not like humans, rather like a chimpanzee. That's how Lucy would have walked. But there's others who have come back and looked at the anatomy again and said, we disagree. We don't think this belongs in the category of missing link. So again, Sir Solly Zuckerman said it this way: they are just apes. Boom. So a dead ape in the ground.
I'll jump to Neanderthal. Human. Neanderthal is just man. The distinctive features of Neanderthal are features that are found within the variation of existing humans today. Not only does Neanderthal fall within that range of human features, but Neanderthal is known to have engaged in these human activities. And there are a great many Europeans who have Neanderthal DNA as part of their DNA today. Neanderthal married with what you would call modern humans. Neanderthal and what you would call modern humans coexisted. I remember decades ago Neanderthal being called fully human. I remember that.
But the damage was done. Generations were raised in a world where evolution was proven as fact, instead of the fiction the evidence provides. This isn't science, it's a pattern of deception.
Apparently there are still people who are fighting for the thought of Neanderthal being somewhere farther down in the evolutionary chain. Those are the kinds of people who would support Hitler, no? Give that some thought. The bottom line, friend, is there is no undisputed, and when I say undisputed, there is no undisputed among credentialed evolutionary paleontologists that a link has been discovered or that a link exists between man and ape. And I will repeat what I said in my earlier post. The tree of evolution is full of holes. Holes that have not been filled, never will be filled.